Hi, folks. Nick Tucker here with the Historical Fencing Guild. The Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you by the Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe, both available through Amazon at www.amazon.com/author/Nicholas Tucker. That's me. Thank you for the delay. I'm also made possible by my amazing Patreon members who are listed in the comments below of every single episode. I love you guys so very much. You are the light of my life, and you help make things go. What a day, folks. It is one day after Thanksgiving here in the United States of America. And as we rumble and tumble our ways through the turkey coma and cross-contamination, we make things go just a little bit longer. Yes, folks, happy stream day. I couldn't be happier to hear from you today, Thesis. This is just going to be just a good day, a new show. Everything is coming up our way as we finally make our way to that of most interesting of seasons, the holiday season. It's Black Friday, folks, and a lot of places have a lot of specials, so please look them up. But don't spend more than you can afford, and spend your time first and your money second. All right, we got Foxy in the house. Hey, Foxy, how you doing, darling? I hope you're doing really well. I'm dealing with a bit of technical issues, hence the couple minutes late. I had a blue screen of confusion, if not death, pop up and just try to jump in my shorts and ruin my night. So we are making our way downtown, talking fast, kicking bum. We're doing well. Anyhow, I'm setting up my secondary window as we speak, just in case I need to go somewhere while I flit around solving problems. So how is everybody tonight? Oh, I'm sorry your stitches itch, but I'm glad you're there to have a scritch from our good friend Thesis. No, you get feeling better, hon. We need you to feel better. I'm going up to PHA to see if they have any special discounts. Oh, oh my. Oh my, there is something interesting that has found its way onto our good friends at Purple Heart Armory. So I'm really interested in what I'm seeing there, and I'll put that up while I do what I do. We can make it rock for you. Bam. Alrighty, and we are back. I like that layout. Thank you. Can I do? Oh no, because if I do that, I can't scroll. Oh, having leftover thanks is fine. Hi, Feline. Thank you, and thank you for following that goofy gnome who bugged me. I was asked to set up a Twitter handle for a gnomish friend of mine by the name of Gizmo, who you got an introduction to this Wednesday, but you probably won't see for about a month. Now I was talking to him, and gosh darn it, that little dude's too busy to sit around for a month. So he's got a Twitter handle at what is it? At Gizmo_glitch or glitch_Gizmo. There's some dyslexia. I'll try to get his stuff going, but he seems like a neat guy. Maybe we'll get him on the show. But yeah, so doing favors, trying to make things better for folks. You guys know how it is. But look at all this. Let's play with the zoom here. Apparently our good friends got a hold of some very interesting one-shots of weapons and are selling, it looks like, steel recreations. This is all high-end stuff from something called Regenye. Hi, Frog G. What? We got Frog G in the house. We're doing real good with him, too. But so we got some, for the people who want to throw big bucks, there's some interesting things going on. And I'm trying to decide while I'm right here, is any of this lustful? Oh, that might be. I don't know this company, so I don't know legality, etc. for different organizations. But this is fascinating stuff. How's everybody doing? I hope you all the good folks who followed oh, okay, I see what's going on here. Who follow our friends at Red Valkyrie Presents had a good time for my last run of DMing. A couple other people wanted the pointy hat, and you know me, I serve. I live to serve the communities of which I'm a part and make things a little better, or at least a little more entertaining as we get through the holiday season. So we got folks greeting each other. I'm just gonna do that because I don't need that right now, and I'm gonna do this because this could be all about me for a while. I'm a big poofy mess. My head wrap is elsewhere, so y'all can deal with the wonderful tinsel that is my gray. Johnny Cage in the house. Hey guys, um, I'm so glad to see you. You guys, if I have any power to make sure you aren't forgotten, you won't be. And if I have to do some sideline shenanigans, you know me, folks. You know me. Up, over, or through, I am unstoppable when motivated to accomplish a goal. Yeah, well, Kirby's a slayer. Kirby's cold. Kirby is a stone cold slayer. I mean, I think he would have eaten the drow if the vampire had it. I fear for that little goblin's life. That little goblin. Dude, don't yell at me. Anyway, that little gnome's life. It's not great. Yeah, see, I'm frosted. Frosted, the old man. Yeah, folks. We got, like I said, I am very much keeping things in their lane. So for Halloween, I want my Halloween mojo. For Thanksgiving, I take that as a fat man, I have an obligation to take Thanksgiving very seriously, which I have. I have done well and will continue to do well tomorrow. But thank you for the comments on the hair. I need to get my ears lowered, even though I'm thinning. I also have way too much of it, so I need to get a little more organized up top. And normally I have a hat or a head thing, just because. Would you believe I work up a sweat talking this fast and moving this hard? I don't know. It's surprising. It's shocking. I don't know how I do it sometimes. But yes, things are looking up. And in the month downtime, I will be working on a couple publications. My first on the list are some fantasy based. I've had requests, so the Pranksgiving mini dungeon will eventually, in the very near future, be up and available for acquisition. Probably as cheap as Amazon can let me do it. I just have to check out the OGLs for the system I was using. And then you guys can randomly drop your players on a giant Thanksgiving dinner table and have them fight croissants and, gelatinous molds and maybe even Gobbles McGillicuddy, the legendary turkey. Things could happen. Yes. Back in the day when I had my full beard, which I can't have thanks to being a member of the Scuba Sleeping Squad, around this time of year, people ask me, "Are you Santa's son?" Now I'm getting the whole, wait a second. Hey, fat man. Yeah. You going down the chimney? I'm like, no, I like my wife. Anyway, but yeah, we got some good stuff. We got a lot to talk about as usual. I'm doing a lot of adapting of my gear and equipment for what I'm carrying and working with, because now I'm working around big chunky plastic things that have taken my already very small hands and made many grips less comfortable. Fortunately, I had to ask myself, what would the adapter do? And look, my Missouri River mouse hawk, I can actually hold on to this. I can actually get a decent grip, even with my limited strength. And that means I can slowly start drilling to see if I can make this go, possibly throw it. And I'm all for that. This fits still. Fortunately, the all important Bilbao is actually a small enough rig that I can keep most of my fingers on there. The pinky's a little floaty with the guard, but it's light enough I can make it go. So adaptation. It means there is a very good chance in the near future that one of the plastic Tai Chi Jin are going to get decapitated from the pommel. I'm going to cut the pommel off and narrow down the blade at the base to make it into a grip and make a shorter, lighter weapon that yours truly can use without entanglement or weight issues. Because that's what we're about, right? I mean, if I were to ask any of my students who are going through something, they were to say, well, this is hard. Now, I've thought about a pata or a guitar. I have a bracer plan that when I can trust my hands to do leather work, won't be a blade, but it will definitely be something special. It's been in the works mentally for a long time. I just have to make some adaptation, and I may end up working with my wife to do some of the more hand strength things, because basically my hands are at about 25% of the normal strength of a man my age, which is 40. So that means I have a variety of tools that help me around the house to do things that would be difficult. I have a modified can of. I've been meaning to ask, would you guys be interested? It's a little off topic, but seeing how I the tools and methods I use for day-to-day adaptation, because I find the people who need adaptive training have other issues. What I judge in canes, how I do, because I do a lot of things. Like one of the big adaptations, of course, is my neck knife, because I can't put my hands reliably in my pockets. And going with the CRKT minimalist means even my tiny hands with the guard have room to get a positive grip. This is all very good and doable. You have to understand that it's harder for me to do a lot of things. It's harder for a lot of people who may have limited mobility, limited grip, limited dexterity. But there are tools in place to help make that better, and there are forms in place so that you don't need to be the strongest guy. That's literally the mentality that made judo a thing. Was the youngest brother or the smallest brother of a martial arts family developed a way that they could fight. And that's a very truncated, edited version of the story. I don't want to tell the full thing without having the notes, so I don't dyslexize something. But it is interesting how, especially when you look at the arts that are held in some of the more Eastern, there is a lot of adaptation. And I think it's become a trope over many years of martial artists who have taken their weakness and made it into a strength, or at least negated it. And I really find that admirable, Not all of us can be not all of us can be Jackie Chan. And this is important. This is good. I want two very good important points. First off, in order, Bagwood does a lot of John Miner teaching me push hands, and me having to work with somebody that much stronger built me built me a foundation of working from a position of physical weakness that has served me all these 20 plus years. And that coupled well with being a small guy who got beat up a lot. Little guys move differently, and learning how I'm sorry guys, your strength can redirect theirs can be very, very useful. And and then Johnny says, and then the Gracie family ran over the competition, which they absolutely did. And to this day, judo is one of what I would consider the core martial arts in a well-rounded Eastern study. You know, because okay, let me explain. If you're looking from a mixed martial arts perspective, it's really hard for one art to do everything well. You need a striking art that would be boxing comes to mind real as a very easy to understand. The Americanized, easy to grasp would be boxing, wrestling for the groundwork, and then kickboxing. A lot of times they threw taekwondo. I don't like taekwondo kicks; they're too high. So karate, but you end up with styles from each of these three basic subcategories. And for just rolling, for taking it to the ground and rolling around, judo is one of the best arts. I mean, hard stuff. Some people will debate quizzically, is Brazilian jiu-jitsu better than straight judo and all these other things. And that's all. But I think you come to a point where the arts are, some people go for sambo, you know what I mean? Depending on your background. But you have to pick one, what's regionally available and what resonates with you, but it's still going to fill the goals. And the idea of redirection is so important. I mean, understanding it from a fencer's perspective, redirection is key because you don't hard block your sword. Nah, just nudge it offline so that you can skewer them with their own energy. I love that logic because at points I've been weak and I have a tendency to being lazy. So it just makes sense to fit tools and skill sets that work. So if you guys are interested in that, either message me here or hit me through Twitter is a good way to hit me. A lot of people follow me here and then they try to follow me on Facebook. I have a huge number of groups of people on Facebook, and when I'm on Facebook, at least half the time I'm helping somebody who's having some pretty severe problems, which means I may be delayed in my response. What's to say? Yes, a push hands translates interestingly to blade on blade. It teaches you to feel where the blade is going instead of trying to push against it. Absolutely, and you can take that into Spanish destreza traditions. The term is tacto, and tacto is what happens when two blades come together. There is a tremendous wealth of information that on contact. I'm sorry, guys. Whew. My son had an injury. He is okay, but it was very close to his eye, and I was up most of the night last night keeping an eye on things, and I did not sleep well. So I'm a little out of it. And I also realized my beverage of choice is not actually caffeinated today because I was trying to get balanced back out. So just 1 second. Just 1 second. I believe I can mute. Okay, but while I wait for that to rattle through, um, sorry. Yeah, tacto is this information that's sent, and you can feel it. I mean, anybody who's played lightsabers has experienced tacto. You may not understand what's being said, but the sense of energy and information being pushed is is such a big deal, because that's how you're going to tell aggression. You can feel aggression. You can feel um the Japanese very much get into the concept of killer intent and how that affects how you fight. A lot of their systems, you hear it others, but they tend to be a little more um open about it, open, clear in like when you're looking at Bushido and things like that. You could feel how strong they are physically. A lot of times, by the way the blade's moving, I could tell if their footwork is comfortable or not. Because if they're constantly having to adjust, especially as you move, and there's a lot of vibration between the two blades, a lot of movement that isn't intentional, you could tell that either they're not controlling the blade real well or their feet real well. And as you're doing things, I'm sorry. I think I might just be having a bit of a low blood sugar. So I've requested a Mountain Dew to be brought in, and if they heard me, I will get it, and if not, I'll pause the video, run out, get it, run back, and we'll just hope you guys are okay with that. We'll see. When my students actually get to a blade trainer, I teach them the difference between weak and strong of the blade by having them do push hands with the weapons. Absolutely. That is one of my more advanced drilling stages, because there's a point where you're teaching the guards, and then you teach they're going to parry, you're going to go parry it into first, and then you're going to counter, and you're first. Woo! First and I don't get along real well, but third to second, and you're going to go to their third, and they're going to parry you out, and you get a rotation. And getting the smoothness, because one thing that is not discussed enough in Western systems is the oh yes is the concept of fluidity between the frames. Most of the Western systems are preserved by things like Talhofer's work, which is far more elaborate and expensive than most people read. And then you get into other Degrassi, Agrippa, and you see a lot of even my boy Gigante. You see still shots, but the nature of the recording means how they got there can be problematic. And having written a manual myself, whoop, the simple sword, having to I think I have one picture where someone is advancing. Right. This spread here of images was the hardest to work out a means to visually tell the story in a still platform of where you're going to where you are. And I used an onion skin basic approach where I showed like it was movement lines. I used the language of comic books to pull it in. Let's see what Lisa says. Yeah, the thing about strong and weak, forte foible. And yes, I know so it's pronounced fort in a lot of circles. I learned forte, and at the time, I think I'd gone 20 years saying forte as in the music instead of fort, as it's often. So, oh god, there must be a storm coming in. The verbiage is forever ironed into my sense of the vocabulary that way. Let me stop this. But that's the nice thing about the strong and the weak. The leverage is so pronounced. It's almost easier to teach that concept from the sword than it is from the open hand. So going back and forth. And one thing I try to do is I try to keep almost everything I teach in my systems applicable to related. So for me, the rapier is kind of home for one-handed. Okay. Um. Oh God, and that is because the techniques I explain using a rapier can be applied to straight punches real easy. I hook under, come through, hook under, come through. Now, I'm going to grab this because it's both very much here, disengage, and in, right? I don't want to use that because I was actually massively uncomfortable. So I will have to pick another tool or implement to describe that. Probably this guy some more. Dang, I hate using live steel, but the grip is what I can handle. So a punch, a straight punch, and a rapier thrust are very similar. So if you're using a very angled stance like this, now it's funny, fighting wise, you'll see my hands always open. Whoop. Because I can close my fist as I extend. That's no problem. I can make a fist as a free action. I can bleed as a free action too. But boom. And it works well with the musculature. Right, boom. If you do it right, you actually get a little extra pop on your impact. But as long as once it's closed, I have to open it to catch and re-engage. So if I leave it open, I can catch, deflect, rotate into a grab, and redirect. I like that. I don't want to be a boxer. I don't want to be like da 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 guard up. You know, that's not how I fight. I teach mobility, play with their range, find their range. And because I teach fighting from a sword mindset, bam, that elbow, bam. Catching that elbow and doing things to a person's elbow is a wonderful means of redirecting and adjusting. I love hinge joints from a combative mindset. Oh, let's see. Thesis agrees. That was something Bruce Lee taught in Jeet Kune Do as well. Not clenching your fist until the moment of impact gives you that snap and power. It really does. It feels sorcerous. There's physics behind it. One second. I'm sorry, guys. I will be just a. Okay, sorry about that. Uh, a little bit of medical situation. Nothing bad, nothing I can't handle, but stuff I'm going to prep for. Brought to you by Foxy Sparkles and whoever wants to hop in to fill time. I am going to film some commercials actually for just such occurrences so that I can run a video because that's something StreamYard is supposed to let me do. On the rare occasions, either something happens with my son while I'm broadcasting, or like this, where I need some caffeinated go juice. I am sorry, I almost fell asleep while I was broadcasting for just a second there, and I should be doing much better in a bit. Just overclocked last couple days. So, Yeah, whew, we need to adapt and flow. And thinking about the flow, so let me show you a. Hey, I appreciate the momentum. It's gonna kick in just a second because I broke out the big guns. I mean, this is like what? Yeah, 50 grams of sugar. That's gonna jumpstart the heck out of me, and I diluted it into my Powerade kind of stuff, so I will be fine in just a minute. Okay, but okay, when we're talking, boom, boom, boom. Sword comes in, you catch, you wrote the arm comes in, catch at the wrist, rotate. Apply pressure to the outside of the elbow because the arm is already aligned in a straight strike, and you can redirect an individual elsewhere. I'm big on elsewhere. I don't want to hit them. If I like them, the couch hits them. If I dislike them, the wall or refrigerator or bathroom sink hits them. You understand? And sponsored by Bladed Thesis Cola. Now with 100% more full moon energy. Don't mind the fur. It's normal. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. I may make some fake merch because, folks, if you like what I'm doing and you do want to support me, remember I'm not sponsored by Game Shady Stories. Although I will be making Game Shady Stories merch on the S&G in the near future. But so what I'm saying is, Sword's coming in. Let me arm you with something. Excuse me. I am so sorry. You guys are going to just be, he's a vulgar mess. Only today. Here's your sword, right? Now, oh, that's actually holding because of the junk behind it. That's really cool, and I need to make a rig that lets me do this. PvP. Oh, you've stabbed me in the neck. Yay. You guys haven't got enough kills on me lately. I can come in, block, control. That's what I do with an arm. That's what I do with most weapons. Let me get you back armed. Okay, we'll grab this guy. Where is my parry dagger? I see extra orange, but I don't see any of my parry daggers. Oh well, we'll do it like this then. Actually, here, we'll bring back Derpy McDerpenstein, right? Axe is in strong offhand, stab is in weak dexterous hand. Stab is not gone. Deflect, hook offline, make with the poke. And if you look at the body mechanics, it's a smooth. Okay, I am going to. That is my one of my 2022 projects. Is try to get merch going. I'm not even kidding. So anyway, guys, your point control has slipped over the months. Much better. You guys are stabbing at me. Catch. Now I can move in because I've controlled the blade, and disengaging out's going to take extra time, and I can follow it quite a bit. I can even leverage it out. That's freeing the rotation motion. So as I catch, it's an arc. So arc here, arc followed by the body, catches, swings. Now fixing the straight line that is my clavicle, and boom, it's going to bring the secondary weapon right up in that arc for the thrust. So why is that important? Why is that important? You're rambling on, Nick. That is important because hand, control, elbow. Yeah. This is an old, not nice Nick maneuver. Punch comes in. Hello, wrist. Elbow. Rotate their force and then step in, applying your elbow to whatever is leading. You'd be surprised when an elbow to an armpit point an armpit, an elbow to the face, throat, chin, mouth. Elbows are much stronger. Mine are damaged from excessive use from different points in my youth. That means you can use that. But if I had a great spear, I would, if I'm holding one of my long spears, I'm going to parry out with the forte. It's a sweeping motion as the thrust of the spear is coming in, a half step that you would likely compare with one of what I consider a lunge. That's about a foot's length farther to get as much momentum going as advance some property. Pull cue that spear towards its source, and things happen real fast. The parry riposte, parry riposte, parry riposte works both ways. Boom, boom. Think about it. The same basic body mechanics work for unhanded, small to medium weapons to large weapons. Understand your roots, and it goes both ways. That is how I test a technique. I don't like specific techniques. I don't like techniques that only work if you've gotten them to do X, Y, and Z, and it's a Tuesday, and it's raining, and there are no monarch butterflies within 1.4 miles. That's a trick, you know? And the problem with tricks is, one, some tricks can be devastating. But you can't over apply it. And if you only get a trick once, a trick will only work when it's not expected. A technique will work or at least affect the situation every time it's applied. That's the difference between techniques and tricks. I'm blowing my sugars way out of the water, but I really need it right now, and I can tell I'm not feeling right. I'm just not feeling right. But we're gonna make it work. So what we need to do is find the techniques that fit all the systems we do. The footwork I use when I'm fighting is very similar to the footwork I use when I'm walking, which is very similar to the footwork I use when I'm dancing. When I'm sparring open-handed, which does occasionally happen, I move very similar to how I fence, which is very similar to how I use a staff or a great sword or a spear or a glaive or whatever extra long I need to reach you way over there. It still affects, which is funny because when I'm clearing rooms, either Nerf battles or when I was doing stuff with the police, the civilian police academy they put me through, I got to do some stuff clearing rooms. It was a wonderful experience. My footwork was the same. Okay, that's why I say build up from the stance. Foxy says, if you need to take 5, please do. Your health is more important. I want to get through at least an hour, and if I stop to take 5, I will have problems, and I don't care to take that step, because if I take 5, I'll be done. It's just the way my mojo works. I'm a creature of inertia. It takes a while to get me rolling, but once I'm rolling, it takes a whole lot to stop me. So I want to keep going, but I thank you and I appreciate it. And if I feel any worse, if I continue to go downhill, I will let you guys know. But I am insanely dedicated to this broadcast, even when I don't know what I'm talking about, even when I don't feel it. It is important that I am here, both for the people who have, I've had people where this is their big entertainment. I've had people where, this is where they find somebody to talk to because they were locked in an apartment for the whole COVID thing, basically. So I have an obligation to my fans, and that sounds kind of, I don't know, cliche or silly or I don't know, but it's true. So I'm gonna keep trying. it matters because that's still there. So let's look at this. If we're going to train, and that's why when I talk about fighting, I talk about stance. Okay, and it really, really interests me when I say, okay, we're gonna spar, but first let me see, how do you stand when you fight? I don't like to say what's your stance, because a lot of times if they have a martial arts background, they will start spouting names of stances, which intimidates the other students. Plus, they all have there are only so many ways somebody can stand comfortably in fighting for any length of time. There are exceptions. There's some screwball stances. But, I'll go, okay. Now, one thing, you can get away with open hand fighting, a very square stance. A very, very square stance fighter can definitely get away with it, because you see me start to get low. That's the wrestler's game. Wide, low, hands just below. Let's do this. You're going to see that. But that's extreme, and it limits your forward motion. It's very, very crab walk. It's very circular side to side. But it's hard to advance, and it's really hard to retreat for any length of time without breaking stance. And breaking stance is always an extra beat, There's always an extra step to, I'm breaking stance, and it affects your mobility. Olympic fencers tend to err naturally on the other side. They're incredibly straight line linear. Arm is back. They want minimal target, maximized reach with a lunge. It is a very specialized stance. And just like the wide wrestler stance, against a more dynamic footwork style, that can be very limiting, and nothing short of problematic against melees. That's why I found in a lot of organizations, they don't. Oh wow, that's not necessary. I've been out of it. I've been unplugged, and we're going old school. So I'm assuming you're hearing me fine. Hi, Cindy. But okay. Well, that has to come off when I'm doing sword demonstrations. When the skills of the duelist do not always transfer to a melee situation. A melee fighter's footwork has to be. Oh, hi, Ogre. No, I've been a satyr in certain circles for a very long time, allegedly. There are a lot of people who are trying to knack down. I don't know what knack means, but nail down what my metaphysical alignment would be, because it's like, I'm not an elf, and I'm not a dwarf, and I'm not a hobbit. Although there are moments, gnome comes close, but not quite. I'm very hard to find where it fits like the D&D racial platform versus the how people are. I love to think in terms of, are you right? Maybe I'm just a plain Jane human, and there aren't many left. I'm not sure, but I have been in full satyr. I was requested to be in full satyr for a friend's wedding, and I have my horns. I have the string. It just, I can't get them together at the same time to fix them. But something is coming to where I'll be experimenting more with costuming and things in the near future. So who knows what lurks in the hearts and minds of everybody's favorite hobbit or gnome or satyr or. The shadow knows. That's the answer, folks. I'm going to try to get my headset back on because I can tell my speaker gets a little dubious. And The dragons have come home. Aww. It's always good when the dragons come home from I'll be home for the holidays. We're having technical difficulties. My computer blue screened for a minute. We're going to make it work. Can you hear me now? Let's hope my headset is actually working. It's been dodgy. If not, first person to put up mute gets a bonus point if I need it. If not, the secret word is rutabaga. Good. Okay, so and my blood sugar is coming back up. Thank you guys for the patience. I'm just honestly I'm flying kind of exhausted today, and we're making it work. That's where that went. But yeah, okay. So we spent the last 45 minutes talking about stance and fighting a little bit. When you are fighting, getting back to it, you want a generalist approach. I really do. I'm bending my words tonight. I see how you are. Nice, ogre. Nice. We might set something down special. I have some plots. I'm gonna have to bug you, and I'm gonna bug Johnny, Auntie Noodle. The people who know who I mean by Auntie Noodle know who I mean. I have a few things that might just be interesting. I'm working on something. Going a little ARG, but or allegedly so. But we'll see. We will see. But okay, so the reason a melee fighter has to be generalist in their footwork is they have to move over uneven terrain, unknown numbers, and various weapons. oh, oh. Yeah, ogre, that's a sign my blood sugar wasn't there because I didn't catch that right away. Well played, sir. I might do that. I might do something with with the Patreon patrons who would want involved as preternatural creatures. I've got something interesting in the works. We'll see. I like that. I like that. Uh, Message me that later because I can tell when I'm coming up with my blood sugar, my memory retention is not so swift. Uh-oh. No. My "Don't Be a Bummer, Vote for Gummer in 2020" bumper sticker tried to fall off the wall. We can't have that. I still say it was rigged. He won. Gummer should have won. Anyway. Now, that flexibility does, thank you, does come at the price of specialization. But specialization is a lot like a trick. It does really well in one given situation. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, Foxy. But if you don't keep yourself broad, you can't adapt. So while you'll do one thing, do it extraordinarily well, when you're not doing that one thing, you will fail rapidly and have problems. This is my approach to gaming. This is my approach to life, and it borders on a big part of my philosophy because I like to survive. And the funny thing is, sometimes winning and survival are not the same victory goals. And I'm really looking forward to seeing tomorrow in one form or another. I kind of like that idea. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to survive. And I'm going to make sure things work for me. So what you can do in a one-on-one duel where you both have matching length blades, it is very fair, is very different than when you encounter somebody a foot and a half taller than you with weapons longer than you stand. It is a challenge. And if you don't, thank you for the message. She's actually a writing group for that fandom. Thank you for the message.
Ooh. But we're being versatile and being able to adapt to situations is what's going to let you survive. And the reason I chuckled goes back to my mentality. And let me explain. Because, as I said very early in the show, my grip strength means I need light weapons and tools. My grip size, being my hands are fairly small. They're wide, but let's put it this way, these are considered 3/4 gloves, and if I actually uncurl them, this one, this is how they would fit. To fit the width of my hand, they have to be there. Now I can bunch them up a bit and get them to curl down. But fingered gloves always end up with about half an inch to an inch flapping on the end of the fingies, the phalanges, if you will. Which means, a lot of time, if I'm not careful, I end up having to fight while holding a soup can, or at least feeling that. Cool. Oh, to my Patreon members, very soon I would like you to DM me your a place you would like to have mail sent, because I'm going to see about doing something like Christmas cards this year. You don't have to; it's totally voluntary. But if that's something you're interested in, hit me up through Patreon, because Patreon on the Historical Fencing Guild, which I just remembered I have a banner. There we are. See, at www.patreon.com/thehistoricalfencing guild is a great way to interact, because basically I consider them my pay bosses. And what the patrons want, I do my best to do. Sometimes it takes me a while, because trying to take things like the concept of bagua and destreza and get a full conversation, um, post, once we get post COVID and a few other people, we may have to turn that into a discussion show, and I'm okay with that. Hmm. Ah, I'm not okay with my beverage disappearing. So we're gonna have that going on. Let me go back up to the comments for a minute. Says that's why I have my students. Kitty and Foxy spar with each other and with me. Gives them a chance to fight shorter and taller people than they are. I need to find a giant for us to all to spar with. Giants are wonderful. John Miner, we're talking about giants. Will you appear? Um, I had small rose gloves for fencing, and I could not uncurl my fingers while fencing without losing my offhand glove mid parry. Lord, do I know that experience? See, like I said, I have wide hands, but I'm very short. So eyes end up with the flaps. Fighting armor is challenging. And the reason I was laughing is what? Even when it's take care of yourself. Oh, you know me. Because say it's on a minor scale. Now, see, and I have studied no small amount of Destrenza. It is sort of it might shock you that I simplify and translate and I keep what I need, but we could definitely have enough to talk through. I would love to do a because anymore I should be able to just let me look at something. Okay, hide that because I know that's there. Invite. Okay, cool. That's all I have to do. I can send you a link because we're powered by StreamYard and they don't charge me, so I appreciate their kindness. Uh, uh, but I can send you a link and we can actually split screen and chat any day especially if you want to do something on a Friday night. Let me know. I'll be sure to jumpstart ahead of time so I can send you a link and bring you in. Okay. Let's see. That would be great. Me too, Nick. Check out Youth Gloves. I like Youth Gloves, but my hands are really, really wide for their length. Uh, and my feet are too. I wear 10.5 2Es. So I have very short, wide, paddle like manatee flippers. You get what I'm saying? So it's an ongoing battle, but that's okay. But with the braces, because you plan for your worst day, I have to work around what I can do with the braces. And the reason I laughed was sitting on my table is my mouse hawk, which I can actually. I am so tempted to get another one of these and put it on. Oh, my, you are an elf, aren't you, Cindy? That's okay. Some of my favorite people are. I wonder. Foxy can fit. I'm not even surprised by that either. But I got this guy, which is a amalgam. Uh, the amalgam's not the right word. There's a word I'm looking for. But an alternate for something like this. It's just a narrower, shorter. It doesn't have the spike, but I can make that go. I can make this go sort of key ring, but it's a little thick. I have, of course, my beloved little Bilbo. Now it binds the brace a little bit, but I can get enough of a grip with the keyhole to make this mostly work. Now, if I take my gauntlet, my brace off, I'm fine and dandy. But what I was laughing at was I'd moved that stuff over, and sitting right under it all was my little buckler, which ironically fits the same, small size scale weapon. So I essentially have knocked my vertical mouse over. I essentially have a I did not realize that you were that small. Uh, you are a tiny little thing, Foxy. Anyhow, he's a Bigfoot. Hey, you know what? I have no problem. I love Biggie. I'm tired of people messing with Biggie. He should be able to walk in the woods. I'm gonna take my braces off for a bit because I'm not doing anything too elaborate, and they're just a little heavy right now, which sounds stupid, but like I said, I'm not feeling quite right, so I'm gonna make things work. Yay! That was the pop of the wrist. But quit bugging Bigfoot in the woods. Let Biggie have his space. He's earned it. And if you see Thesis walking through the woods, maybe give a nice polite nod and smile, but leave him alone because he's off to do work. But this is why I'm interested. I'm so interested in give me a second. PHA's youth weapons. Let me go boom, boom. And I keep hoping that they restock because the I wonder, are they in stock? No. So getting back to these guys, light plastic, light material, lots of counterweight, something like that would be divine for us smaller people. Okay. Your hand, Thesis's hand is 8. Whoa, wait a second. Let me just do this and let me go here. 3. Okay, yeah. See, I turned the 3 into an 8. 3.25 inches. Do I have my tape measure? It's probably on my keys. I lose tape measures. I always have them. I think somebody comes by and plays with my tape measures because they're not here. But okay, 3.25 inches wide and 8 inches from wrist to tip of your middle finger. I don't even have my wallet to pull $1 out. Let me look. Oh, wait. Are these 4x6? Oh, wait. This is a known quantity because this is 5 by 8.5. So this is an 8.5 size, 5 by 8, 5.5 by 8.5 statement size. That that tells you my hand size. You can guesstimate that pretty easily. I think I have about a 6-inch hand, but I'm still, you know, if that's 5.5, 3 inches around, across. So my hand is almost as wide as Thesis's, but it's almost a third shorter. So you understand why gloves are a nightmare for me. Um, yeah, my hand is actually real close to Foxy's. I've measured it in the past. My wife and I have the same size hands, same size feet too, or almost. If you're going to invite me to a picnic, little little red. Oh my! Y'all get a room. Oh wait, you have one. Anyhow, last time I checked last time. I'm not doing it this time. Okay, that's fine, folks. Yeah, something like that. Probably. I'll double check when I get there. When I get a chance, I'll double check. But I have. So the moral is, it makes very hard because most gloves won't pull over, and the ones that do have wibbly at the end. It's just I have odd proportions, and I'm okay with that. It's part of my charm. I mean, I am whoever I say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? Anyway, I went there. No shame. How much can you squeeze with how much can you squeeze your hands? I might be able to practice with. I would just need a box. How much can you squeeze your hands? Um, I tell you what. You mean like the grip diameter? For me, open-handed 3/4. I'm sorry. Um, 5/8 to 3/4 is probably the most comfortable grip. All the way down to a 1/2 inch is what I would consider a comfortable grip in square or no. Don't be hard on yourself, Foxy. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're a wonderful person. You got yourself a very nice werewolf bear hybrid, which is you are nowhere near the first of such a beast I've met. I love dogmen; they're good people, and but yeah, don't be careful on your terminology. It can affect you. So yeah, I'm working on some stuff that will be better for me. I'm looking for something I put away. Um, Hi, Jody. Yeah, it's been interesting. It has been an interesting little broadcast. I had a slight blood sugar, which made for things to get a little colorful, but we're still rolling because I'm a dedicated broadcaster. Now, from the desk of a small press publisher is Jody McPhee, and he has a broadcast Saturday that I would have actually been on where they were talking about copyright and fair use, and it's spread over to fan art and a bunch of other things for the purpose of writers and creators. And I really wanted to weigh into that. However, Thanksgiving obligations are such when you have families that work. Sometimes Thanksgiving doesn't come all at the same time, nor does it hit, say, Thursday. So I have some obligations Saturday night. Um, it's been interesting. It has been an interesting night. But that being said, follow Joe, just click on his little thing in the comments, and um, you should be able to see a really neat conversation between him and Brian K. Morris. And I am sorry I'm going to miss out on that. Uh, obligations are obligations. It's been interesting. It has indeed. I'm not worried about it. Just fact, my toes are wide, but my heels are narrow. See, I think more of us were meant to be aquatic. I need to put some of my pictures of my boffers up to people, show what I can build. My most recent was a longsword that sold for $20. Now I want to put up something about your journal. I haven't forgotten it. However, it is in a safe box because I was organizing things, and that box got moved and is on the other side of the pile of other boxes. So I have to get it. But when I get to it, I will have it. Not traditional Thanksgiving is still Thanksgiving, family first. Exactly. And that's why I actually had to explain to some wonderful folks that uh, over the holidays, if you know me on social media, very often as it gets near to an actual major holiday, and it doesn't matter what, I tend to kind of fade for a second. I'm not publishing as much, and you may find I'm not as quick to respond to messages. That is because usually around holidays, I have people I know who have problems with any given holiday because of the loss of a loved one or recent trauma or religious experiences. There's a lot. So I tend to get busy right around assorted holidays, not just trying to, go through my own family traditions and the joys of the seasons, etc., you know, but going through trying to help the people who really need it. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you know me, but please be merciful because a lot of it's like, let me turn this off for just a second because I think this is important. Uh, if you ever go to a hospital and you are waiting, the vast majority of time you should be dang happy. I know it's inconvenient. I know it's annoying. Sometimes it's even scary. But the thing with a place like a hospital is they always operate on triage, which means the person who needs the help first gets the help. It's the only way to get everybody through alive or as much as possible. And what that means is, if it's somebody who helps people and makes things work, if they are, I will get to you, they either believe that you have time or somebody desperately doesn't. And that's what happens. Go Joe! Dang it, Cindy. Now my mind is humming the G.I. Joe theme. And and now you know, and knowing is half the battle. And I have to skip because Cindy beat me to the response. The other half is red and blue lasers. Lisa says, Christmas is a little difficult for me. I lost my maternal grandmother on Christmas Day, 1996. And my first adult relationship ended 3 days before Christmas, so it can be a bit sad. Yeah, the holidays can be hard for not just for those who've lost people, but for the people who don't feel they meet the expectation. For me, I'm I'm not good at celebrations for myself. I'm not good at different things. That's obviously my first thought on the holidays is I wonder who I'm going to be helping this year. And that's not yay I'm cool because it's not. It's tragic, but forced emotion is hard. And when the world starts beating the drum around Halloween, you need to be excited. I just don't have that much excitement to hold that long. And for me, I find the holiday is broken up into different pieces where part of it is okay, I'm taking care of family and the whole gifts and bustle. And part of it is, the music, and part of it is for me, I celebrate like the Christmas holiday season sometime between Christmas and New Year's. when all the obligations are met, when everybody's gotten what they've gotten and whatever social or family needs or social networks, whatever's happened has happened. That and you know the the commercial pressure is off because they've made their money. Then but the lights are still up, and then I might put some of my favorite Christmas music on and find quiet places to enjoy the lights and the music and maybe some cocoa coffee, something like that. Enjoy the little things. See the we must I try to hold on to the wonder of childhood as much as possible in most of what I do. I don't ever want to look up at a sunset and be bored or just it's not worth looking at. Uh, and because of this, I find beauty in strange and significant to me places that might be overlooked. I'm the guy who notices the dandelion that's coming up in the crack outside the window at Fazoli's, and but don't don't let it spoil because you know the music. See, hold on, hold on. The music, the same songs gets hammered into retail. I've worked retail, I understand, but I don't think they don't deserve that power. And if there's one thing I am, it's fueled by spite. Brian K. Morris might be running with that line. But I've been dropping it a long time. And I'm going to tell you, it's not about the holiday blues. It's about finding what's important to you and protecting it. It may be that one cookie that you have, or the one time the one set of lights that one neighbor somewhere puts up that always gets just a cringe of the smile. That is important because believe it or not, for the people who have really dark places that their minds goes, a lot of times that little thing is the thing that will end up saving somebody. That's the little things, and yeah, sorry, Ogre. We did translate to the holiday blues, but maybe not like you expect. I want to because what I'm doing is I'm talking about how I get around the holidays because sometimes people think I void out, and I have very I believe in gratitude for the holidays. I'm not good at asking for anything. I never have been because I'm not greed oriented. I'm not really stuff oriented. So it's hard, and it drives my wife and family nuts because I'm just hard to shop for, hard to breed, hard to breed. No, I wasn't hard to breed. I did pretty well, pretty easy, but hard to work with. And I believe, yeah. See, that's it. Like I said, for me, I celebrate and I feel when there's still that positive energy in the air, but nobody's capitalizing on it commercially. They're not greed. It's not where you can find like a chunk of downtown somewhere and take a little walk, go a couple blocks, look at the lights, and it's introspective and it's beautiful and it's liminal. And anybody who knows me knows that's my bailiwick, folks. So don't worry about it. Is it still no? It is still November on. Oh, bless you, Ogre. It is still November on my calendar, and Oberon assures me he isn't taking off the mail Hallberg until after December 1st. Now you're talking about the proper bosses, and you're dropping names. Like I said, I don't. I I'm trying to support the people and remind them that you don't have to chase what people tell you being happy means. You know, you ever see a kid pretend to be happy? Hold on. You ever see a kid or somebody on TV? Yay! That's not that's not real. Very few people are ever really that happy that much. At least for somebody who has Depression, high. Depression means my baseline is at -2 on a happy-o-meter. Am I happy? Am I sad? I just start normally at maybe -1, -2. It's not bad. It's just where I live. So when I'm very relatively happy for me, it seems marginally happy for everybody else. So that when I'm excited, it means it's a huge deal, you know? And if you pay attention, it's usually something awesome happened to somebody else. But yeah, no, I'm helping people. Ooh, happiness is not worth pursuit. Purpose is more sustaining. I think happiness may be a side effect. And good, excellent, Ogre. Uh, joy is a fleeting emotion. Happiness is a place you can live. Contentment leads to all of that. You know, my family is saying it's not having what you want, it's wanting what you have. And that the problem is it's across the board. I am blessed and I'm very thankful because amongst other things, I have an amazing, intelligent uh group. And Foxy agrees with one or both of us. And boy, ain't that the truth. But I'm on 3 broadcasts regularly. This channel, Red Valkyrie, and then Brian K. Morris's stuff. I have another channel that I'll be doing more, but and I am blessed with the most amazing commenters. The most amazing people show up and talk, and through this screen that you let me into your homes and lives, we have this sort of tribe, and that's a wonder, and I appreciate that. There are a lot of people. I need this many views. I need this many subscribers so I can monetize. And yeah, monetizing would be good, but I'd rather have this environment. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. That's why I'm not going to a whole lot of clickbait titles. And, I'll do that when I do it on my, the things. It's humor. If you pay attention, I'm usually mocking something, most likely myself. But people I don't know, people I've never met, I may never meet. I've recently gotten to see some of the most, like I now know what Frog G sounds like, and I've seen Cindy Kep. And there's a whole bunch. I wish I could just like rent a convention hall and just pull all you guys in and just be like, I want to hug everybody who's cool with hugs. And anybody who's not cool with hugs, I will nod demurely or shake hands or something. But like, I want to share appreciation because you guys are amazing. And most people don't have that. I have a wife who loves me I mean, like we've been together 20 years in one form or another. We're at 19 married. We've been through. I have a beautiful son who, despite a very scary accident yesterday, didn't lose his eye. He got a cut that was just quarter-inch, half-inch from being eye damage in a situation that I'm not going to go into details for family reasons, but we need we need to appreciate that. I mean, I live it's messy and disorganized because I have more stuff than I know what to do with. But I live in what to me feels like a mansion. Uh, I've been blessed. Thousands of near misses. I have lived a very eventful life. I have. Ooh, seems like you'll be able to see me at Felines next week if you got the time. Hit me up with the link and the time, and I'll try to make it together. Uh, and Ogre, I got meeting Wolverine online was an experience. Meeting Wolverine could be it was an experience. A really cool dude. Never imagined what he'd be like, and it was awesome. I mean, really neat people that I've met. See, most of the people on my feed right now, I've either met through Brian K. Morris or I've met through uh, the Red Valkyrie Presents crowd, thanks to Luke Stone, ironically, who is always in our thoughts and prayers. And I absolutely, I'm blessed. And I get annoyed when I see people on whining a little bit because I understand they may not have the perspective, and I'm sorry that they don't. But really, if you have commenters talking to who are engaged in what you're saying, if you're able to use your skills to do some good, every once in a while I get a message that, hey, I got to learn to sword fight because of you. I'm sky high for me. I'm like, that is the most amazing thing in the world. I help somebody. I help somebody I don't know because my book exists. Yeah, Wolfo the shirtless. Yep. Um, we're gonna see about Foxy. I'm hoping we can, once the wound is closed, we can get some scar cream and see. Mine has faded over the years mostly, but I was very sensitive for a long time about the big scar in my eyebrow from the spiked ring. Yeah, the spiked ring took my eyebrow off. And then a few people. Thesis found me through my boy Sword Sage, and I had to go through. Well, ogre. I nearly missed my season finale because I mistakenly thought there were some meetings that were had that I never found out about, or I found out very late. They told me, okay, we're in 2 weeks, we're ending the season, and then we're moving on to Woodrow running the game. And I got that message. I went, oh, okay. And I honestly, being me and having had in the past some very abusive friends, I took it to mean I got fired. So I spent 2 weeks trying to plan the best couple sessions for you guys and, figure out what I could wrap up and duck out the door. And I was, civilly and happily, and nice. And then it got straightened out toward the end. But I really thought they were just done with me, which is what I'm used to. So I finding out, no, we want you to come back as a player, but et cetera, to the point that I ended up making a 5th edition character, Gizmo Glitch, who is a gnome artificer who you will be hearing a lot of, especially if you're on Twitter, because he's an annoying character and doesn't want to wait a month to manifest. So follow that. I want you to see it and tell me what you think, Ogre, because it's good stuff. That's the best compliment, helping somebody who may never get to meet you. The work touches them. Exactly. Um, I um, I've had, like, when I say I've had a lot of near misses, I've had a lot of near misses, and I've had a lot of doctors give me the long stare and tell me, "You got 6 months till you're in a wheelchair. You'll never fight again. You're done." A few other things. Had a couple major instances, and I've operated on borrowed time. But my purpose, I took up sword fighting to learn control, not power per se. Power came with it, but to learn control because in my youth I was a very angry person, and it's still there. I found it again quite thoroughly yesterday because I saw that my son was hurt. And, full confession, that brought up some problematic solutions that I did not do. But I've in the I mean, like, there have been 2 or 3 times people didn't think I was gonna make it. And I believe when you're doing good work, okay, this isn't communist crud or anything weird like that. When you're doing something for the betterment of others, and as I learned to fight, I almost immediately started working with the people who were marginalized for their body type or race or religion or gender, that whole sliding scale stuff. I may not always keep up with terms, but I always keep up with civility. I don't know if that makes sense. But the writing the simple sword was my way that I knew if I couldn't make it, if something took me out, my son would have a way to learn the way I fight. Uh, my friends who also were trainers would have a textbook to help because they would come to me with their questions or an attitude. What I was doing needed a codified curriculum of sorts, a basis on which other people could build what I've been kind of living in for a long time. And I needed to make it as cheap as Amazon would let me, which is why it's very cheap in digital. I used color. I did not realize it would raise the price that much, but that's why the hard copy is a little pricey. But and it did good. And I've had international sales. There's a group of people who use my book in Australia, in Brazil. There are, and occasionally they'll get brave enough to be like, "Excuse me, Mr. Talkert, Master Talkert, can we're doing this. What do you think of this?" And it's so cool to be able to help. Now, I've had a lot of comments come through, so I'm gonna stop prattling. But Ogre, watch it. It was a great game. Let's see, that's the best. Okay, Foxy says, "Never mind mine much. I got it because it got me out of playing flag football with a bunch of team boys who were a little too. Team boys suck sometimes. Gnome Artificer is just a great synergy character when teamed with a Warforged bodyguard. Absolutely. He's 5th ed. He is a artificer armorer. So you bet, because he's starting at level 10 because he entered mid-campaign, he will be Nomi Stark at level 15. You know that's coming because when I saw the option for Rocket Punch, yes. So the first thing I actually did with him, you know what, Ogre? I'm not going to tell you. I will give you this bit of a spoiler. He does show up at the end of the finale episode of Red Valkyrie Presents Dice Dames and Dudes Season 1, which you can see through the Red Valkyrie channel. Let me just go to... Wait, no, 1 second. I want to get that link for them because people ask. YouTube. Sorry, I have my braces on, and typing with my braces is nigh impossible because everything I have. Oh, Kiri. Oops. Freeze. That should do it. 21 episodes, and I will give you. Nope. Get your commercial off of my channel. Selling physical products. Anyway, so that is the final episode of Dice Dames and Dudes in the chat. Alrighty. But that says, let's see, no more artificer. You know what you could tell them? I've done that more times than I'd care to mention, Foxy. But I had a rapier quillian come dangerously close to my left eye when I was cleaning. And remember, that happens. I had one come dangerously close to my left eye by bending in a fencing mask that not a battlesmith. You have artificer, like straight artificer. Your subclasses are alchemist, artillerist, battlesmith, and armorer. An armorer gives you upgraded armor. I don't have a metal puppy, but it's really cool, and I'm going to have. And yes, Smith, I speak fluent typo because I have to see my own writing. And you know what? You want to meet him? Hold on. Psh, it's my character. I can do what I want to. Bam. Let me make sure I'm on the right thing. Y'all want to meet him? Let me see. You give me a chance and I will bring up his link. Come on. Do. Share. Let me see. Boop. Here we go. And yes, his inventory has been fixed to not have the Uber weapons that I bought solely to give to my other players. See, I had the ability to, well, you'll see. We'll see. This is Gizmo Glitch. You'll be seeing a lot more of him in the near future. And if you're curious, there you go. That's what happens when I make a character. I did not power build him. I did roll obscenely well, and I did so honestly. So I'm very pleased with that character. As you can see, my hair is trying to ascend. You see, your hair starts to do that when you've become a forever DM. If you have hair, it begins to ascend up. The higher the hawk, the closer to God, or cog in the split case. But let's see. I told you, you remind me of Pops Racers. Like him, it wasn't money or fame in the automobiles. It's more. Yep, and that's all I'm trying to do is build great cars. I can't wait till I have things cleared up with Luke, so that I can show what's under the tarp for the base +2 engine. That is the informal name of it. The base +2 is a hell of an engine. I can do amazing things with it. And I don't talk lightly. I don't get proud easy. It's going to be amazing. After hearing Twitch God's war streams, whenever I make an error like that, I hear Kratos in my head going, boy. Christopher Judge showing up in your head is a terrifying thing because I'm never sure. Am I hearing Kratos? I'm sorry, speech impediment time. Am I hearing Teal'c or am I hearing Magneto? None of this is good to have in your head going, boy. I have nowhere near the gravel to do that. Oh, this is why he left you working on the car company and work for self. He did more good, but doing that for racing, just like you do more on your own and do more good as the start. Yeah, and there's stuff coming, but I have to make sure everything I do is done both on the up and up, and with kindness, courtesy, and understanding to support those who help me get in a situation. And he said he scared. Can he scare whole floors though? No, Jim Robertson. We are joint guys. I talk about my both my amazing gamers. I talk about my amazing fighters. I don't get them on the show often. That's Jim. Jim has been, oh god, he's a tour de force, and he's why I always think in terms of physics when I'm working up a D&D character or a campaign setting. How the hell are you? Jim is a real life dwarven defender. He's not like a little person dwarf, but you put him in armor. Look at this channel. Rewind a bit. I can't wait to get him back out here and put sticks in his hands and see him fight. I don't know if I'll be opposing him or just marshaling essentially. But God, it's good to hear from you, Jim. Happy Thanksgiving. You're going for the No, this naturally happens. I'm going to get my hair cut in the near future, but my wife hasn't felt up to it. I only get my hair cut by a professional former dog groomer because it keeps in species. Woof. No, ha ha. Yes. No, but so yes, the ongoing games will be going on in a month, but I can't have a character that chaotic running around in the back of my head. Jim knows this. So he is not as good as my old gnome. I can't remember my old gnome's name. I don't know if he had a name other than he was scary. I'm blanking his name, But Jim's referring to a gnome I ran that was based loosely on a Lucard from Ultimate Helsing Abridged, and he was fabulous. But he had all his points in intimidation. He terrified the spiritual residents of an entire forest once. Good times. Let's see. Oh wow, we're getting lots of comments. But see, Z the guy, Z the gremlin. Okay, I don't know that, but I will look into it. Very interesting. Oh, see, it's great to see that. I'm gonna look over. I mostly remember Balsmith, artillerist, and alchemist. I believe armor was pulled out of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And hi, Jom. Hi, Jom. Someone knows. You don't even know. No, honey, you made my day. I've called Jom so much. Oh God, he's the Alliance of the Little People. Oh God. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Like the Legion of the Small. Oh, and No Michelou card explains a lot about Anchi Noodle. Do you know how badly I wanted to bring a vampiric, like a Dompiel gnome, into that campaign? Except it doesn't fit the timeline because it's 1,000 years later. But gosh, see, Jim, they're running around 1,000 years before you, and uh, you might bump into them anyway, depending on what happens. They're up to level 10, and they had to take a hiatus to let somebody else GM something else. And there were portals and slip gates and rocket powered orcs. Because if your orcs don't have rocket launchers, are you even gaming? But folks, as you can see, I've caught my blood sugar back up. My caffeine is kicked in, and I am feeling much better than I was during the slow times. I'm gonna have to read that series you guys are referencing. It sounds fun. Uh, the only characters I've ever been actually associated with is Artie from Warehouse 13, Giles from Buffy, and Giles from Buffy. Oh, someone else. Albrecht of Kars from Valdemar. That's probably one of the more flattering ones, but yeah, that's basically where I live mentally, and I'm okay with that. That's cool. Ravencleft is a safer place without them, at least for now. Here's the great thing. Now, in that game, with some spoilers, because I don't want to talk too much because Ogre hasn't seen it, but I can finally do what I need to Castle Solitaire. And you know what? Castle Solitaire might just uh might happen. Let's rewind. Let's see. Oh, Marcy Thompson is the maid. Okay, so you guys send me the links to that information to that book series too. My wife is a librarian, my brother is a librarian now. Yay. And I am a former librarian back to being a private conservator of an incredibly small, incredibly bleak little library. But oh, okay. One, let me go down. Stab it's a good one. Stabby King time travel, but I bet he ate someone who had that. Jim, we got to talk. We're gonna talk, and I haven't seen or heard Jim so long. I'm gonna make you happy, Jim. You don't know it, but you're happy. I've been running Basic Fantasy. Basic Fantasy is my system brought up to 3.5. Somebody did it proper, all positive, all nice, real and free to download and cheap to buy. $5 for the normal, 13 for this hard copy. But beyond that, and I use the word beyond deliberately, the Red Valkyrie crew, in their infinite wisdom, have me doing 5th. To the point where I even have a D&D Beyond account, and I'm going to be playing in frickin' 5th edition. You guys have drugged me kicking and screaming out of the 80s and 90s and into modern gaming. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. Um, no association with Iroh. I thought that was a given. Wow. Um, Occasionally it comes up, believe it or not, but I take that as so high a compliment. I have trouble believing it's significant. That's one of those I aspire to be something like Uncle Iroh as a character. That's a very modern. A lot of times I end up more Fred Rogers than Steve Rogers, if you get my drift. But thank you. Thank you for remembering that, because I'm not, like I said, I'm not good with compliments necessarily, and there isn't to me enough backhandedness to Iroh. So thank you. Um, let's see. Ravencleft is safer for Johnny. Remember, this is Johnny. He has not forgotten about this. Let's see. You're a good. I try, because the more I get my students to sweat, the less they bleed later. You'll understand when you see it, Johnny. Yes. Okay, I will definitely look into that. With a 13, um, yeah, hold on. Here we go. For the people who followed Silver Ogre, the link to basicfantasy.org is yeah, uh Jim, you would come back to gaming with me for basic, because it literally is my system just updated to comfort level. It's like if you and I walked across a room and shook hands on how gaming could be. And it's all free to download at basicfantasy.org. They sell it at print cost through Amazon. So the main book is $5 soft cover. They recently did hardcover at 13 point something. Uh, I support one thing that's the sideline. I support independent martial arts. That means everyone should be able to learn whether they're part of a group or not. Independent comics. I mean, talk to Brian K. Morrison. Talk to the Red Valkyrie crew. I'm all about the independent comics and independent gaming. I make games without being attached to a bigger boy, so that I can have the freedom and be able to set the prices at a low enough that other people can get into it. That's what I Basic Fantasy is amazing. It really is. It's old school up to about 3.5 without a feed engine, but there are optional feed engines. Honestly, Jim, I would, let me put it this way. When I get things settled over here and I start gaming again over here, I will be asking if people want to do uh either basic, or I'd even go fifth. I don't There are aspects of fifth I don't like. I can be more flexible with basic because the rules aren't there, so I can do things, if that makes sense. And Jim says I would come back regardless. You know what? I might do another game show at some point where I'm DMing for a bunch of my local friends. I don't think the folks at Red Valkyrie would mind, as long as I didn't slough off my duties there. So, because it's really easy. Would y'all like to see me DM GM/run stuff more often? Plus, what you don't know is Jim is actually a playtester for the original Plus 2 engine that I'm working on, that will be part of. Watch Jim smile. If I told you I'm going to do a PDF campaign formally published in the fairly near future. Ogre, I choose not to talk about fourth. I did not like I did not like it at all. I did attempt to play it on opening demo day, and it was not comfortable. It was not a nice experience, and it made me go back and run an actual D20 modern module just for the sole purpose of cleansing a palate. But see, yes, yes. I may not. I won't be tapping people's existing characters, but I will tell you that somewhere, someday, somehow, Earl will be canon. I'm not talking about Earl Harbinger, although I would in a heartbeat. But yes. You know what? I have met some people who genuinely did. They were also the kind of people I have found who liked playing World of Warcraft and tweaking the DPS and doing the math. Uh, Mercy Thompson books. Hold on. Now, see, I will have answers in very little time outside of a Hasbro board meeting. Oh, God, you are so up my alley. And Jim, I don't know if you saw it, but yeah, yeah, it was trying to make D&D it was trying to make it a video game, and now it's a collectible books game, which I can work with. Uh, but I do still like basic. Uh, I like basic a bit better because I know it, but we'll see. Johnny, I would love to watch that. As fun as the finale was, it was bittersweet as hell for me. Your games are fun to see. Yeah. Anybody who saw it knows I was having some composure issues toward the end, and it got worse after. I love running games, and because of COVID and because of uh, just me moving 100 miles from anybody I know and a few other things, at the time anyway, I lost the ability to run games. And one thing you have to understand when you're facing physical disability, you get very protective of what you can do. And it's like they want to take away my sword fighting. The doctors don't want me doing it. And for now, I physically can't. It's a goal to work toward. Um, I have very limited video gaming, and it is at a great diminished ability. Uh, a whole like I went almost what a year where I could barely draw, so I lost my art. Uh, I lost a lot. I lost the ability to type normally. I mean, the hybrids quick play book was hammered out by stabbing markers into a keyboard. But we're fighting it, and while I'm fighting it, I'm finding things that are untouched. So playing tactics games like Big Stompy Robots, Melee, those are two I've written. They're both available through Amazon at the link below. When I don't usually plug my gaming stuff, but this time of year, let us give tanks and blow each other up. But I still have that. If I can't walk real well, even if I can't move real well, I can still game, and I can run D&D in one form or another, run RPGs, and that's important. And that begins to be the basis of what you build back up to, and what can't get taken away. So you saying that, Johnny, it really it really gets to me. I will tell you that, and I'm not kidding. If you look around Twitter, you will find that my artificer gnome, he is a multi-dimensional slider. He and Volson, for the people who know, hang out. Uh, I have two. I have actually three variants of the game published. In that there is the original quick play that I made so that I could play tactics games with both my special needs clients and my son while we were waiting for Starbucks with my waiting for my dad to show up at Starbucks because we'd meet him and we'd be sitting at a big table. So I made something fun and easy and entertaining. And that's what Big Stompy Robot started. And I could play it with some of the clients. And then I ended up playing it at games while I was waiting for people to finish rules. So I'm literally playing classic BattleTech on the big table, and there'd be a rules dispute, and I could fire off a couple rounds of Big Stompy Robots. The quick play rules are 99 cents on Amazon. The full version, I think, is like $5.99 for the download or $9.99 for the paperback. Uh, please look into that. I also have a couple novellas in that series that have, one of them actually has a solo variant. So if you like that style of gaming, let me just do this because I want to keep the link short. Let me put you on the path, my friend. And that is based. Jim's an accomplished player. If you get the main book, he is the inspiration for a villainous sect because Jim has the personality that can handle being the bad guy and do it well. Uh, I think you would enjoy this. So please look into it. And if Ogre, you're one of my patrons. Hit me a message offline if if you're not sure it's worth 99 cents. I'll hook you up. Cindy Kep says Small Arms was fun. Thank you. I had fun writing Small Arms. I had fun writing Eyes to the Sky. Eyes to the Sky is one of my prouder written things because my dad liked it. My dad's a Vietnam vet, very stern, very serious man. And it has war elements, and he actually took it with him places to show people. So, oh yeah, Jim's amazing. Jim, I would not include you in canon to things if I did not highly respect not just your mind, but your character and the interestingness of your character. So yeah, I mean, I'll put it. If you guys when you find out who the Vector sect is, the Dr. James who runs the Vector sect is based on an evil Jim because that was the highest praise I could give the man. At some point, no, right now the gnome will have a laser pistol that looks suspiciously like a Nintendo Zapper. That's where he's standing there. No, Small Arms is sort of about what happens when you're not the one in the mech and you're in the wrong place at the right time. It's a little bit mystery, a little bit has that I think it has the Bruce Willis the guy is having the worst day of his life kind of feeling. He's a mercenary who literally had just retired that day and ended up in the wrong place and everything went diabolical. And I'm really proud of that book. I'm really proud of the world I'm building because I use the same style of world building that I do for my D&D stuff for Big Stompy Robots because I've been involved with I did some play testing for classic BattleTech. I was the last person to submit to be a Black Lightning playtester for Reaper's Cav, Reaper group, and that crashed. Yeah, Jack Bauer thesis, and it's fun stuff. And I guess I'm plugging for Small Business Saturday or what is it, Cyber Monday. Look at my stuff on Amazon. Well, see, my gnome has done certain things that were kind and clever and proved him immediately beneficial. So plus he may help Volson with his lightning direction problem. That will be one of his big things. I don't know if I can pull it off in game, but Lord knows I'm going to try to see if I can't get Volson a means to shoot lightning where he doesn't incinerate his characters. And I know we went way off topic, guys, and we're right around the 2 hour line. But gosh, I love gaming, and I love gaming with you. Like I said, let me see. That's not it. Oh god. Okay, we'll try this. I'm trying to find the link for you guys because I got a message asking about it. We'll go here. We'll go here. I'm still surfing the world of Twitter. Anyway, did he comment? I know he commented on something. Oh, well, that's the med alarm. Well, I don't need to worry about that. I already took care of it earlier. We'll keep an eye for Gizmo. I'm sure he will show up. And you, like I said, if you scroll through the things, you will find Twitter gives me the jitters. Say it with me. Okay, wait. Still maintain the greatest idea for a buddy cop movie is Jack Bauer with John McClane having the worst day in history. I want to put something. I want Sean Bean in that movie as either the main villain or the person they're supposed to protect. And things keep happening where it looks like Sean Bean has died, and then he just sits back up because it narrowly missed him. Can we get that? I want that. Incinerating his team might be Volson's best play for redemption arc. Twitter is different. It's different, but I've had uh Twitter leans one way politically, I found, at least in the groups I associate with. Facebook leans the other. And because I am very much a moderate, independent kind of guy, I can break the parties up and say, you might be happier following me on Twitter. You might be happier for following me on Facebook. And actually, it's really cutting down on the groups cross arguing and making my feed difficult. So it's sort of necessary. Ogre says, say it with me now, Johnny Evil. It's a party. And you're not wrong. At least half that party is card carrying evil. One is just a rampant force of destruction. And oh, by the way, Jim, the fighter has the Hello Kitty karambit, and it's enough of an artifact. It's acting like the Codex. Uh, he is an immortal, so he doesn't stay dead. Who, Stabby or Johnny? Johnny doesn't stay dead. He just picks another body. Things get colorful. Interesting characters just keep happening. Sean Bean. Yeah, Sean Bean. It doesn't apply to Sean Bean either. And then says the end and leaves you freaking hanging. So you watch for the bump at the end. There's a bump, and it's just Sean Bean, and he eats ice cream and goes about his day walking off into the sunset happily. No, I caught you, Jim. It took me a second because I'm still navigating this new keeping track of where the commentary is. But we are getting to the 2 hour mark, and as much as I love keeping you guys here, I do try to keep these videos roughly at 2 hours. So I want to thank everybody who came out. First off, I want to thank Jim. Good Lord, I've seen or heard enough of you. I, I originally set this live stream so that I could stay in touch. To have it finally work is making my millennia. And if you ever want to hop in and talk, if anybody wants to hop in and talk and be on camera, let me know. I'll send you a link, and we can do that now because of the happy little duck on the top of my screen that says StreamYard. Huge shout out to Cindy Kep and Ogre and Johnny and Thesis and oh god, Foxy. I guys, I couldn't do this every week without knowing that you guys are here. So thank you. If you like what I'm doing, please consider buying the Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe. The links are in the bottom. They're on the ticker. Uh, that works. That works too. That you guys are making a great movie. But guys, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, because I know a whole bunch are coming in the next 30 to 40 days. Actually, 30 to 60 days. There's a lot going on. So be good to each other, guys. Be good to yourselves. Keep your guard up. Do your drills. And as always, folks, support your local swordmaster.